You know what I love about practice is that if it's something that you really are passionate about, like for me, comedy, add on to that wrestling slash jiu-jitsu, judo, right? What I love about practice is that by doing something that you already love, you're really you're really taking your technique and your skill set to the next level, from your body to your mind. Meaning this, when you drill something to your subconscious, kind of like that you can walk and chew gum and not have to think about walking or chewing gum, right? You hit a certain level of excellence, is mastery level, right? Like black belt, but as far as like memorization of an activity, right? Um, and that's what I try to always do with my comedy, because no matter what happens, I don't want to be able to think. I want to be able to be in the moment and interact. Just like in wrestling and in judo, you want to always be able to, no matter what's going on, not be thinking about it and just be active, be in the moment, right? The reason I was saying that is because every night, almost every night, I am sharpening my sword, so to speak, right? I am drilling that perfection, and I'm getting better and better and better and better. And even though I'm just reading and kind of doing some small rewrites and editing my material and rehearsing over and over and over and over and over again, I'm enjoying it. But on top of that, I'm getting like additional repetitions. I'm getting that much better, right? There's like invisible degrees of greatness, and the better you can get your material, the sharper you are at it, right? The sharper that you can get that skill set, etc., fill in the blank, whatever it may be. You know, in martial arts, if you are a black belt, that is the highest belt you can be. Well, unless you're like a legendary figure, there's something called a coral belt, which is like a red belt. But anyway, that's not the point. Point is, even when you're a black belt, you can continue to get stripes. And those stripes are basically like intermediary levels of progression, right? So a 4-stripe black belt has more progress than a no stripe black belt. You start with a black belt, then after however many years, if you really start to kick it up, you'll get a stripe added to that black belt. Well, it's the exact thing with the mastery level of other activities that are not in the martial arts, right? Such as throwing that baseball, right? Me doing comedy, a sous chef making the recipes that much more perfect, you know? And there's different levels of I know I'm telling you something you're already aware of, but there's different levels of excellence. Maybe you're always picking up the level of creativity, or maybe the level of excellence that you have. Maybe it's not necessarily doing something new, but taking what you have, that one sword, and just sharpening it more and more and more and more and more. So when you take it out to battle, you're a monster. And that's my goal. That's always my goal. Be a monster. In comedy and wrestling and jiu-jitsu, be a monster. Now, to defeat everybody, to be better than everybody, you got to have certain personal standards, right? And what I mean by that is that, you know, you can have internal goals, you can have external goals like beating somebody, all right? But that's where competition lies. And this, again, it's more than just my opinion. It's how I live my lifestyle. I don't want to have, I think Conor McGregor, he said it best, like, I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over. By having that kind of mentality, if it's something you're passionate about, that you want to be the best at, that means you got to be better than everybody else. So that means that you don't want to necessarily be somebody's peer. You want to be, you don't even want to have a rival. You want to be above the rest, right? And that's how I feel about comedy. Now, as far as like martial arts goes, judo and wrestling and the jiu-jitsu that I do, I want to be the best version of myself, and I have certain metrics as far as like being able to do things to people no matter what their weight is against me. Okay, so if a guy is much bigger and taller and he weighs more or whatever, and also if a guy is more explosive and lifts more weights. I want to be able to beat all of those guys. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to compete at it. That's not something that I actually take my sword out, so to speak, in practice. Comedy, however, that's the thing that I do more hours, more time, and everything else. But I'm a big believer in balance. So, a repeated theme of something that I say a lot, which is, if you have something you're passionate about, it's always, always best, right, to have some sort of a balance. It could be going to the gym, clearing your mind, getting your mind away from that subconscious activity of studying or drilling or practicing or whatever it is, right? And I'm a big believer that by doing so, when you go back to, set activity, comedy, jiu-jitsu, whatever, baking a cake, when you take your mind out of that and put it into something else, it gives your mind a rest, and you come back, and that's where new ideas start to formulate, and or your technique gets even stronger, because now it's like you've taken a mental rest, and even when you think you're not thinking about something, right, taking that mental rest, even if it is going on in the back of your mind, you're filling the pot with something else, right? So yeah, anyway, I'm so excited. I have this new hour of comedy that I've worked on and that I've said, and it's amazing, and I'm so proud of it. And every night, I'm just sharpening my sword and sharpening my sword. So when I get it on stage, they're like, "Who is this?" Now, there's a difference between being world class and world known, and I'm already world class. So now all I need to do and be is known by the world, and that's the next step. I'm Benja. Well done. Check me out. Peace.